Yo, welcome to Stocks and Bars, the Cliff Notes episode. In the last episode, we had Jon Connor. It was an honor to speak with my man, Jon Connor. We talked about the hip-hop industry. We talked about his journey in hip-hop. We talked about his perspective on finance and so much more. So make sure that you check out that prior episode, both parts. Please go ahead and make sure you do that. And yo, on the Cliff Notes episode, you know what we do here. We always talk about what we recently talked about and dig a little bit deeper into that topic. So last time when Jon was on here, like I said, we talked about the hip hop industry and we talked about a lot of the caveats that he faced. We're going to talk more in depth about capitalism, right? AKA Trapitalism. That's what I like to call it now. Capitalism, AKA Trapitalism. We're going to talk about the pitfalls of it. One thing that stuck out in that episode, when you listen to it, you're going to realize that Jon had his run in the hip hop industry. And it wasn't until he ran into DJ Paul of 3 6 Mafia. Shout out 3 6 Mafia. Juicy J, Project Pat, rest in peace to Gangsta Boo, everybody that's involved with 3 6 Mafia. He educated him on a part of the industry that he did not know about. And it was a shame because it should have been told to him. So when he hipped him to that part, it changed his life. And this is what we're going to talk about with capitalism here, right? Each one teach one. In capitalism, the problem that we have is that it always comes down to, hey, you can learn on your own. Well, we can get so much further if we worked together instead of this individualistic idea of you can do it by yourself. We can get so much further if we just worked together. And capitalism does not encourage that to happen, but that's just a sneak into what we're going to talk about. So we're going to reference something. So if you go into Google right now, while you listen to this conversation, or maybe even later and run this conversation back, I want you to go ahead and Google problems with capitalism. One of the first things that's going to come up is this site right here, fixcapitalism.com. They have 14 points on there. All right, 14 points, but we're not going to talk about all 14. We're going to hammer home about 5 of them. 4 of them I took from the site, 1 of them that I have on my own. So let's talk about capitalism, right? We talk about the U.S. and how great it is because of capitalism. So many people come from other countries to come here and enjoy this system that we have. So let's talk about what's happening with capitalism, all right? We got the 14 points. Let's get into one. Number 1, it generates a growing level of income inequality. We are living that right now. The growing level of income inequality. How many times have we been told about the income inequality and how that gap continues to grow? That is because that is a byproduct of capitalism. It is not going to ever get close. And I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm sorry if I popped your balloon, kicked your ball over the fence, but it will never get close. And there's a reason why for that. It's because the system itself is linear. It's linear in the sense that money only has an end point. It does not circulate. And the reason why it doesn't circulate is because what we talked about before was the individualism part of it. Capitalism can get swayed to one person or one group, and whoever owns the gold makes the rules. And that is what capitalism is in a nutshell. That is a flaw in capitalism. Number 2, it does not charge businesses with the full social costs of their activities. Think about what that means there. It does not charge businesses with the full social costs of their activities, meaning that the business itself can create a product, but they are not responsible for that product once it leaves their hands. And this is a big problem in capitalism, right? We are always passing down the buck to the last person. It is all about liability to, guess what? Individuals, right? We pass that down. Hey, I no longer own it. It is now yours. That's a problem that capitalism has. Number 3, It encourages high consumer debt. Think about how debt continues to grow. We have this whole national debt thing. They show you this clock. The clock never goes backward, by the way. It's only gone up. That clock goes up consistently. And you talk about the trillions of dollars of debt. I have a podcast about that, as a matter of fact. Make sure you go back and check out what national debt actually is. But the whole concept of how this country is run, right? We got the gross domestic product. And 2/3 of that, by the way, if you are not hip, is based upon consumer spending. And people have to spend. If they do not have money, we do have debt. And debt is what we are predicated on. The whole thing of the dollar itself is based upon that it is funded by debt, that someone is going to pay it, and therefore it has value. That's a whole nother conversation. But this is what capitalism does. It encourages high consumer debt, and we are living that right now. It's a big old cash grab. That's all it is. Big time cash grab. Number 4, it fosters quick profit over sustainable profits. That's got to hit home. Our community itself loves the whole, well, how much can I make tomorrow? We love the idea of something making money quickly. That's why there are so many get-rich-quick schemes that develop on a nightly basis, because everybody wants to get the money now. They don't want to wait, right? Warren Buffett said he always teaches his secrets to wealth because nobody wants to get rich the slow way. It is in love with fast money. So that is a big problem because it always is going to emphasize a quick profit over sustainable profit. Here's one that I added, right? Number 5, it gives a false sense of power to individuals. You give somebody power, a lot of people are scared to tell you no, and that gives a false sense of power. And capitalism drives that. And I'm sure you can think of a lot of situations right now where that is happening in this country. It may be happening in your circle of work. You can always identify a situation like that happening. And capitalism breeds that. So those are things that I found that I wanted to share with you about capitalism. Those 4 points and then the one that I added. But now that we got that out the way, right? We love capitalism. This is no shade thrown at it other than the fact that it has its flaws, and we need to work on that. The only way we're going to work on that, honestly, is by collaboration. We have to work together. Companies, industries across the U.S. will sit here and complain about a situation right now and say there's a shortage of workers. Nobody wants to work. Well, it's not that. The honest truth is that nobody wants to deal with companies anymore having too much power. The power is in the people. There is no reason whatsoever that a job should be able to let you go at will, but they ask you to give a 2-week notice when you want to leave. Does that not seem unfair? Can you imagine you live in a world where a company actually collaborates with other companies if you are no longer a good fit for them, where they can say, I can put you in placement? Can you imagine if that companies actually work together to keep people employed? That would be powerful. Capitalism could do it, but we got to actually demand it. So, let's talk about the stocks about this episode, right? Ooh, I got a lot of stocks for you right now. We are at record highs, right? We've talked many a times about how the market could likely continue to run. And if you are not following me on YouTube, change that immediately. While you listen to me, make sure you write down Stocks and Hip Hop. You can go ahead and Google that and you'll find me. Stocks and Hip Hop, Stocks and Bars, whatever you Google with Stocks and Hip Hop, you're going to find me. That is because this is the only place where you will find that mixed with hip hop. So the stock picks that I got for you right now. All right, let's start off with the easy peasy one. I love to give you indexes because it's very, very simple to understand. You do not have to get an individual stock. An index can hold you down for a long time. And the index that I like right now is IWM. We've talked about SPY before. I still like SPY. As it's sitting at record highs, I find it hard to say that that is a good purchase at this point because it's at record highs. But I do like IWM, and that is for the fact that it is lagging behind. But however, the trend is catching up, and I think that it will go higher. IWM is right now around this 205 area as we have had our recent close, and I think that it will make to the target of 220 pretty quickly. Once we get above 210, 220 will happen very quickly, and I think that'll get there. So IWM is the index that I like. That is the Russell ETF. Now, if we want to talk about some individual stocks, I got a lot. I definitely got a lot. If you are missing something in your portfolio right now, get your pencils. That's how old I am. I keep referencing my age in here because I love writing down pencil pad stuff. I like being able to have it scripted and related back to my mind. But anyway, let's talk right now. All right. We got ALB. All right. We got Albemarle, a lithium company. We all talk about how batteries are the future. Batteries all run off of lithium. Well, batteries don't all run off of lithium, but if you want a long running battery, lithium is what is needed in that battery. And this is a good play on that. So we got ALB, right? Sitting at around 120 right now as we talk about it. And I do have a price target for it to get back to around that 180 mark. That is about a $60 gain. And that's pretty darn good. It does also hold a dividend. And that dividend isn't much. I mean, it's 40 cents. I mean, that's less than a 2% yield, honestly. So it's not the biggest thing in the world, but at least you do get paid for holding it at this point. So I do like that stock right now. 120 is the current price, current close price, should I say. 180 is the target that I think I can get to. Let's talk about some solar stocks right now. If you're missing solar in your portfolio, I like SEDG. SEDG right now is sitting around almost $65. It has gotten beat down. We're talking about beat down. And a lot of these stocks, when you look at the charts, you're going to see that it has been beat down. It was a stock that ran very, very hard and fast and has recently found its support around that $60 area. I do like it for a rebound, for it to move back to around that 125 area. And that is a decent gain there, right? We're talking about almost 65 points there that we can gain, or really 55 points if you get in around that $70 area. I like it. I think this is a good play. I think this has the opportunity to run higher. So that's SEDG. Next one I got on the list for you right now is a cosmetic play. All right, cosmetics were hot for a while. We had Ulta. That is a hot stock. If you missed out on that run, well, here's a chance right now, to pick something up for your portfolio. We got Estee Lauder, ticker EL. Estee right now is around $143 as we talk about it. They also have a dividend yield, and they have about a 66-cent dividend yield. So if we go 0.66 times 4, which is $2.64, and we take that out of the current stock price around 143.18, and we'll have a yield of almost 2% yet again. It's not much. It really isn't. In the face of inflation, where you're talking about a 2 to 3% hike every single year, this is going to not really meet the standard of fighting it. But you do get to hold something while that stock is there. So 143 is where it's currently at right now. If you are missing makeup or cosmetics in your portfolio, or you need to replace one, I think this is a good pickup right here. EL around that 140 area. I think it can get to a price target of around 180. Next one I got on the list is a tech company that we are familiar with. And that tech company is Lyft. All right. Lyft right now is sitting at $20.16. I do like Lyft. I like Uber as well. I think Lyft can continue to make its run. While this stock isn't like the blockbuster that we just mentioned, a few of them, I do like Lyft. I think Lyft has an opportunity right now to make a run to around that $30 area. And that is a $10 appreciation. And that is not bad. Talking about out of 20, that's a 50% run. I think that Lyft has the opportunity to do that. So if that's something that you're missing in your portfolio that you wanted to look into, go ahead and add that tech company. Check that one out. All right. Last one I got on the list right now is 3M. I don't remember if I brought this up in here or in my chat, but I do like 3M. 3M has been holding steady. I've liked it ever since it hit the $100 mark. And I said 100 is a pretty decent entry for it. It dropped and got to 85 as a low and recently has regained itself back to 100. I do think that this is a stable price for 3M. 3M is a company that we all know, right? You can always name a product right now from 3M, and they also do have a dividend. Their dividend is, where's it at here? All right, their dividend is $1.51. All right, so let's do the math again, right? $1.51 times 4, because you get 4 quarterly payments. That's $6.04. And if you divide that by the current stock price of 106.78, you get yourself a yield of 5.6%, 5.7. That's a pretty decent yield there. So I like 3M. I like the dividend. I like being able to add a stable company into your portfolio. I think this is a solid pickup. And I do have a price target of around 140 for 3M, where it can eventually get to. And that's a decent appreciation. $40 out of entry around $100. Yo, that's good. That's 40% of my book, right? So, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I appreciate you checking me out. Make sure that you change your YouTube algorithm by adding me. All right. Stocks and Hip Hop. Google that. You will find our YouTube channel there, where you will get all of your finance mixed with hip hop. And every single episode, I give you a lyric of the week, where we talk a lyric that involves investing, money, or whatever. And I break that down. And we have some fun, and we talk about the market, where you get to learn how to read charts. And it's very simple. Less than 10 minutes every single week, I will show you how to do this on your own. And with all of that being said, let's talk about why we're really here for. The bars. Yo, RZA, let me get this beat for a minute, fam. Put a little finance on it. Yo, we only do it for the cream, never just to help. Only out for self. This could be our downfall. To some of y'all that sound wrong. Real power isn't people. This could be our town hall. For the culture, I'ma help us put our crowns on. If you don't get it, then you listen with the sound off. Financial hip hop, this is what this sounds called. Everywhere we look around in the music industry, it seems we found fraud. So the choice is now yours. You gotta choose wisely. Stocks and Bars. Make sure you check out every single episode. Peace.
Stocks and bars. Stocks and bars.